Next item is consideration to authorize the solicitor to draft a resolution supporting abortion rights. Recall that this matter came up on the last board agenda during new business, and the request was made to place it on this agenda for the board to consider authorizing our office to draft a resolution which doesn't establish any rights or duties of any of its residents, but makes a statement, much like resolutions that support legislation of a certain type or another, and the resolution would support woman's right to choose and have the right to health care and the right to an abortion, and oppose any state legislative efforts to curb that right. So it's before the board this evening for discussion, and again, if the board's of a mind, it would be a motion to authorize our office to draft a resolution supporting abortion rights.
Do we have a motion?
I so move.
And a second? I will second that. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any conversation or comments?
I do, if I may.
Yes, please.
I'm not unsympathetic to your thoughts on the issue, and I certainly don't want to debate it here. I just wanted to make this statement. It's not in our purview, and it's a very controversial issue, and we've done this about 4 times on controversial issues. I don't want to bring the controversial issues from state and federal level down to Newtown Township. We're going to have differences. We might not. I think I'm here for the same reason you guys are, is because we care about Newtown Township, and that's our purview, and that's what we can focus on. And I don't think we should be bringing these issues in here to essentially fan the flames of these controversies. For that reason, I'm not in favor of this. And also, as I said, this is about the 4th time this has been done by this board for different topics. And I don't know what the cost is. I don't know how much time it takes to draft a resolution for it. I don't know if you want to give us an estimate. I'm not sure what your hourly rates are, but there are symbolic resolutions, and there's very sensitive topics, and I don't think we should be doing that. I haven't said in the past, I've kind of gone along with some of them. You know, I'm not looking to make waves and make problems. I think we should focus on Newtown and the things we do have control over, and that's why I'm not in favor of this. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I totally understand your point. I certainly do. It's not something that I would have ever thought that we would ever need to even consider here, but because of the recent events in the country, and which are going to trickle down to Pennsylvania, and they already are, simply what we're doing is supporting our elected officials as they fight for women's rights and to keep them in the Constitution as they already exist. So we're not to expand them, not to take them away, but to keep them as they exist. And we're just telling them to please fight for women. So, and that was my intention, is just to support our elected officials, not to make, yes, I made a statement about it, I certainly did, because it affects me and it affects 50% of the population. So I do understand what you're saying, and you have every right to do that, and that's fine. I still maintain that this is what I think is right, and ask for the board to agree.
And I do understand your position. I understand the feelings are strong for you. My point is also this, that I don't know where everybody is in this topic in this township. I don't think anybody here does at all either. But presumably there's a large portion of the township that has a serious problem with it. And I don't want to take our position here as a board, with the not being in our purview, to tell them that they're wrong. Like, I don't think that's our place to do. I'm not saying they are, I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying, we're literally taking another portion of our township and, you know, telling them, we disagree and we don't care about your position and we're gonna make a stand on this. That's kind of where I'm at with it, about fanning the flames. I'm recognizing both sides of a very inflaming issue, and I don't want to tell either side I disagree with them and that they're wrong. And we shouldn't have to, because that's not in our purview. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So, and no disrespect for you, I understand what you're doing. I just wanted to explain, I would prefer we don't do any of these resolutions that aren't directly specific to our authority over Newtown Township. That would be my best case scenario. But, and that's one, I wanted to say that.
I got you.
Okay.
I understand your position.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Sure.
Kyle, a lot of things you said are spot on, but we do make controversial decisions here. There's 50-50 splits on a lot of things. We could talk about whatever development is going on there. A gentleman here is against the Wawa, but there may be the person next to him who is for the Wawa. Is this a symbolic gesture? Yeah, but are we here to make symbolic gestures? I think yeah, in some cases, yes. I'm just going to give you my take on it because I'm not opposed to what this stands for. I may be opposed to some of the terminology, and I don't think anybody wants to say or wants to make the statement that they are for, at least myself, I can't speak for anyone else, that I am for abortion. But what I am for is a woman's right to choose. And as a man, it's not within my purview to tell a woman what to do with her body. And I'm not trying to appeal to all the women out there, or because I know a lot of that's 50-50, some of them are for, some of them are against. But I think if we take this little portion of a right to choose, what's going to be next? Are we going to tell women that they only have to take their husband's last name? They can never use their maiden name. They can never hyphenate their name. They can never, they have to be the cooks in the family. They have to, I know I'm going a little over the deep end, but I'm saying once you take a right to choose for anything, where do you stop? Are they going to tell us that we don't have a right to the way we sit here in this room? I think although it's from the higher up, we have to monitor what's coming from the higher up. And one politician once said, all politics is local. And if we don't do anything at the local level, even if it's symbolic, what are we saying? A voice not mentioned is a voice not heard. And but I understand where you're coming from. But believe me, I know we've done these symbolic gestures in the past, but I think we've done symbolic gestures for the betterment of the meaning of that gesture. And again, I would say I don't like the word abortion, but I like the term pro-choice, and I think a woman has the right to have the choice. I could just say from my personal point of view, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This is a resolution to. This is a vote to authorize you to draft a resolution.
Correct. There's been a motion in a second to authorize us to draft the resolution that will then appear on the board's next agenda for consideration for adoption. This is not to adopt a resolution tonight.
I've struggled with this. I've heard both arguments in my head already. All the arguments that have been made this evening. I think what pushed me to want to support the drafting of the resolution, and I'll reserve my judgment on what the resolution is once we see it. But I think what pushed me over the edge was when the legislature sought to do a constitutional amendment. And of course, the governor's, suing in that respect, but it felt that some pushback was warranted. And yes, we don't know how many people were reflecting their opinion. I don't know if Kansas is a sample of that for us, an example, but I'm okay with going ahead on this. I know we struggle with love is love, but I felt good about that when we did it. So that's just my statement, and I respect every argument that's been made. So, given that, I guess we ask for some public comment.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Bradley Cooper. As you guys probably already know, I live in Newtown Grant, just for reference. And my immediate family has all been in the medical field the whole entire life. I'm kind of like the one that kind of skewed away and went to the mechanical field. So I guess you could say that's somewhat in the car mechanic medical field, I guess you could say. But I do agree, that women should have the choice to an abortion, but I don't think that this amendment should be just for women, that it should be across the board to everybody. And I think a way to appease it would be that everyone should have the choice to their medical freedom, that they should be able to choose what best fits them and not have somebody like a president or a, judicial person above us to tell us you have to do this and there's no ifs, ands, or buts, because some people can't oblige to that because of their health issues. And I don't think a one answer fits all to every medical issue. I think that it should be across the board, because seeing what my mom has to go through, or my uncle had to go through being a dialysis manager or a respiratory therapist, what they're mandated or told they have to do sometimes doesn't benefit their patient that they're working on, and they have to deal with sometimes the consequences of what they're mandated to do when they have to work at the different facilities. So I think it should be generally, everyone should have the right to their healthcare freedom, and each individual situation should be looked at itself. It shouldn't be a wide open, this is how it's going to be, end discussion type of thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper.
Terry Christensen, 67 Kirkwood Drive. I'm in favor of this proceeding forward, but that's not why I came to speak. What drew me to this lectern was the respectful way that you communicated with one another. You set a fine example. There was an understanding, an exchange of ideas. It didn't turn into personal attacks, and I'm proud of you. You set a fine example. I wish some of our members of Congress could see how it works. Maybe they should come to our meetings more often.
Thank you and thank you. Any others? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Those in favor of authorizing the solicitor to draft a resolution supporting abortion rights, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries 3-1. Thank you.